Our next guest is Scotty, and he is one of my favorites, and he's actually the longest resident here at the shelter. He's at about 110 days here. He hasn't been on the adoption floor that entire time. He was back kind of relaxing. He is now housed in our kitty cabana. Scotty is about 8 months old. He is very active. He's got a very big personality, and he's a little dog-like. Whenever anybody new walks into the kitty cabana, he always jumps and comes down and wants to greet you. He just ate a dog treat, so he is very dog-like. His tail moves all the time, so normally we would say that that's an indicator that maybe he's a little unhappy, but even when he's happy, his tail seems to be swishing a little bit, so he's also dog-like in that regard. If you are a first-time cat owner, Scotty might not be a good fit for you because he can be a little aggressive in his play, and some people who aren't used to having a cat are uncomfortable with that. He might mellow out as he gets older. He has mellowed out since he's been neutered and since he's been in the kitty cabana where he has more room to move and play. He does love to play. He also has a sensitive side. Scotty is still a baby, and he likes to crawl up on your lap, and he will sit down and he will start sucking on the pads of his back feet. He pulls his foot up and he sucks on it like a baby would suck on their thumb, and he just kneads and purrs and he falls asleep, and he likes to do that. He does think that he's kind of the king of the castle right now. Everything in the kitty cabana is his, and he kind of, but he's learning to interact with other cats. So if you're thinking about adding him to a home that has another cat, he's doing well right now with the other cats that are in there, with Taffy and Jimmy. But it did take them a little while to, especially with Jimmy, to kind of adjust and figure out where they were and what their roles were and how to get along. So there was some fighting in the beginning, but that's not uncommon. The way that we introduced them was to put Scotty went in first, and then Jimmy went into a transition cage. So some people use those at home. If you have a large dog crate, sometimes people put them in there so they can see each other. They can't always get to each other, but they get used to each other, and then they kind of are okay with that, and then you can let them out and they can interact with each other, and that's what we use here. As you can see, he's kind of, he's still looking around, but he seems pretty relaxed, just hanging there, getting some love and attention. So this is Scotty's sweet side. He's very playful. If you have an active child who wants to constantly be playing with the cat, Scotty likes to do that, but just be mindful that Scotty's still learning how to play and what's the appropriate way to play. So sometimes his claws are out when he's scratching and he can be a little nippy, but he is very sweet. He's not aggressive in the sense of he's trying to hurt you. He's just a little aggressive in his play, and he's playing because he's a rowdy, rough and tumble boy, and he's going to make a great pet if you're willing to work with him and discipline him and get him to be the way that you want him to be. But he does have that sweet side.